What does it take for a Hollywood legend to step away from the limelight and redefine what truly matters in life? For Tom Selleck, the journey from global fame as Thomas Magnum to a quieter, more reflective existence is as compelling as the characters he's brought to life. At nearly 80, he's living a life few would expect, but every bit as intriguing. How did a determined young man from Michigan rise to iconic status? What challenges shaped his career and personal choices? And why does his current lifestyle evoke both admiration and melancholy from his fans? Let's delve into the extraordinary life of Tom Selleck. Tom Selleck was born on January 29, 1945, in Detroit, Michigan, into a modest household filled with hope and ambition. His parents, Martha and Robert, instilled in him the values of hard work and humility, qualities that would carry him through a lifetime of challenges and successes. The family wasn't destined to stay in Michigan long. By the time Tom was 3 years old, they had moved west to Sherman Oaks, California. This relocation would unknowingly set the stage for a young boy who would one day become a Hollywood icon. Growing up in sunny California, Tom was a natural athlete. At Grant High School, he became a standout basketball player, using his towering 6'4" frame to dominate the court. His talent earned him a scholarship to the University of Southern California, where he joined the Trojan men's basketball team. But sports were only one aspect of his multifaceted personality. Tom was also a member of the Sigma Chi fraternity and the Trojan Knights, groups that valued camaraderie and leadership, traits he embodied effortlessly. Although he seemed destined for a future in sports or business, his initial major, life had other plans for Tom. It was during his time at USC that a drama coach recognized his natural charisma and suggested he try acting. At first, the idea seemed far-fetched. After all, his focus was on basketball and academics, not performing on stage. Yet, curiosity got the better of him, and he began to explore this new path. It wasn't an overnight transformation. Tom continued his studies in business administration, but the seed of acting had been planted, and it would soon grow into something much larger. By his senior year, Tom made a life-changing decision. He left USC to pursue acting full-time, enrolling at the prestigious Beverly Hills Playhouse. There, under the guidance of director Milton Katselas, he honed his craft, learning the intricacies of an art form that was entirely new to him. His early days in Hollywood were not without struggle. Like many aspiring actors, Tom started small, taking on modeling gigs and commercials to make ends meet. Pepsi Cola and Salem cigarettes became some of his first employers, showcasing his photogenic appeal and easygoing charm. Tom's journey into acting was briefly interrupted by his service in the National Guard during the Vietnam War. From 1967 to 1973, he fulfilled his duty with dignity, an experience that would later influence many of the grounded, disciplined characters he would portray on screen. This time in the military not only shaped his worldview but also gave him a deep sense of responsibility, qualities that would become synonymous with his on-screen persona. After completing his service, Tom returned to Hollywood with renewed focus. His career began modestly with appearances on television shows like The Dating Game, where his charm and good looks made him a memorable contestant. While these early roles didn't immediately catapult him to stardom, they gave him a foothold in an industry that was notoriously difficult to break into. The 1970s were a time of perseverance for Tom. He took on small roles in TV dramas, commercials, and even low-budget films, but nothing seemed to stick. Casting directors were hesitant, often typecasting him as just another handsome face. Despite the setbacks, Tom remained steadfast, using every opportunity to refine his craft and develop the depth he knew was essential to becoming a successful actor. He knew he was capable of more than just playing the handsome leading man, but the industry needed time to recognize it. His persistence paid off in 1980 when he landed the role of Thomas Magnum in Magnum P.I. It was a turning point, one that would define his career for decades to come. Set in the lush landscapes of Hawaii, the series followed Magnum, a former Navy SEAL turned private investigator. The role seemed tailor-made for Tom. It allowed him to draw on his own military background while showcasing his natural charisma, wit, and charm. Magnum was a character unlike any other on television at the time, a mix of rugged masculinity and boyish charm, with a healthy dose of humor. Magnum P.I. wasn't just a hit, it was a phenomenon. The series ran for 8 seasons and turned Tom into a household name. Fans loved everything about Magnum, from his iconic Hawaiian shirts to his unforgettable mustache and his beloved Ferrari. The role earned Tom critical acclaim, including multiple awards and nominations. But it wasn't just the accolades that mattered to him. For Tom, Magnum P.I. was a validation of the years of hard work and sacrifice he had poured into his career. As the show skyrocketed in popularity, so did Tom's public profile. He became one of the most sought-after actors in Hollywood, receiving offers for blockbuster roles that could have further cemented his legacy. However, with great success came great sacrifice. While Magnum P.I. brought him fame and fortune, it also demanded a grueling schedule that left little time for anything else. Tom found himself at a crossroads, torn between the opportunities that were coming his way and the obligations he had to the show that had given him his big break. One of the most significant missed opportunities of his career came during this time. Steven Spielberg and George Lucas approached Tom to play the role of Indiana Jones in Raiders of the Lost Ark. It was an offer that could have changed the trajectory of his career forever. But there was a catch. His contract with Magnum P.I. wouldn't allow him to take on other projects. Despite the allure of playing one of cinema's most iconic characters, Tom stayed true to his commitment, a decision he later described as bittersweet but necessary. The success of Magnum P.I. cemented Tom Selleck's place as a leading man in Hollywood, but it also came with its fair share of challenges. While his portrayal of the charming private investigator made him a household name, it demanded an immense amount of time and energy. The show's filming schedule in Hawaii often kept him far from home and left little room for personal pursuits or downtime. Yet Selleck remained committed to delivering his best, fully aware that the opportunity was a rare one in the competitive world of entertainment. Despite the glamour surrounding his newfound fame, there was an undeniable pressure that came with being a symbol of success. Hollywood had a way of pigeonholing actors into specific roles, and Selleck was no exception. The public's perception of him as Thomas Magnum made it challenging for casting directors to envision him in other, more varied roles. This was a double-edged sword. While it ensured steady work in the form of Magnum P.I. and its related promotional appearances, it also limited the scope of his acting portfolio. This period also brought with it some of the most significant what-if moments in Selleck's career. In addition to Indiana Jones, another major opportunity came when the producers of Baywatch offered him the role of Mitch Buchanan. However, Selleck declined, expressing concerns about being further typecast as a beachside hero or sex symbol. Instead, the role went to David Hasselhoff, who brought his own brand of charisma to the character. Amid the professional whirlwind, Selleck's personal life was undergoing its own transformations. In 1971, he married Jacqueline Ray, an actress and model. The couple shared a blended family as Selleck adopted Ray's son, Kevin, from her previous marriage. However, the demands of his career and the strain of long separations eventually took their toll, and the marriage ended in 1982. It was a difficult chapter for Selleck, one he rarely discussed publicly, but it marked a turning point in his approach to relationships and family. Just a few years later, in 1987, Selleck found love again with Jilly Joan Mack, an English actress and dancer. The pair had a whirlwind romance that culminated in a private ceremony in Lake Tahoe, where Selleck's trusted family priest officiated. Together, they welcomed their daughter, Hannah, in 1988. Determined to give his family a stable life, Selleck began to make conscious decisions to prioritize his personal life over the relentless demands of his career. It was during this time that Selleck made a bold move by stepping back from the limelight, retreating to a ranch in California. The 65-acre property, nestled in Thousand Oaks, became more than just a residence. It was a sanctuary. Here, Selleck found solace in manual labor, whether it was tending to the avocado trees, repairing fences, or maintaining the land. It was a far cry from the glamorous world of Hollywood, but it brought him a sense of fulfillment that fame and fortune never could. While Selleck embraced ranch life with gusto, he didn't entirely step away from acting. The early 1990s saw him take on a variety of roles that showcased his versatility. One of his most notable performances during this period was in the 1992 sports comedy, Mr. Baseball. The film followed the story of a washed-up major league player who is sent to Japan to revive his career. To prepare for the role, Selleck trained with the Detroit Tigers, even participating in spring training and exhibition games. Though the film received mixed reviews, Selleck's dedication to the character and the authenticity of his performance were widely praised. Another significant milestone came when Selleck joined the cast of Friends in the mid-1990s. Portraying Dr. Richard Burke, Monica Geller's older boyfriend, Selleck brought a mix of charm and complexity to the role. Though he only appeared in a handful of episodes, his performance left a lasting impression, earning him an Emmy nomination for Outstanding Guest Actor in a Comedy Series. It was a testament to his ability to break free from the Magnum mold and prove his range as an actor. Throughout these years, Selleck also began exploring television movies, notably taking on the role of Jesse Stone in a series of films based on the novels by Robert B. Parker. As the lead character, a troubled small-town police chief, Selleck brought depth and nuance to the role, winning critical acclaim. Beyond acting, he also served as an executive producer, further demonstrating his creative vision and commitment to storytelling. Despite these achievements, the 2000s were not without their challenges. The industry was evolving rapidly, and Selleck often found himself at odds with the shifting landscape. The rise of younger stars and changing audience preferences meant that the types of roles he had once excelled in were becoming less frequent. But Selleck, ever resilient, refused to be discouraged. Instead, he leaned into roles that allowed him to explore the complexities of aging, authority, and resilience, traits that mirrored his own life experiences. As his career progressed, Selleck became increasingly selective about the projects he took on, ensuring that each one aligned with his values and personal goals. This selective approach eventually led him to the role of Frank Reagan in Blue Bloods. The character, a principled yet flawed NYPD commissioner, resonated deeply with Selleck, who saw it as an opportunity to portray a strong patriarchal figure in a time when such roles were becoming rare on television. This role would mark a new chapter in his career, one that combined his signature charisma with the wisdom and gravitas he had accumulated over the years. Tom Selleck's portrayal of Frank Reagan in Blue Bloods not only marked a pivotal point in his career, but also became a defining role for a new generation of fans. When the show premiered in 2010, it quickly gained traction for its blend of family dynamics, police procedural drama, and moral dilemmas. For Selleck, the character of Frank Reagan was a chance to channel his own life experiences, discipline from his military service, his understanding of fatherhood, and his deeply rooted values, into a role that resonated on a personal level. What set Blue Bloods apart from other procedural dramas was its emphasis on family. The Reagan family's weekly dinner scenes became an iconic aspect of the show, reflecting themes of unity, tradition, and open dialogue. These scenes weren't just filler, they were the heart of the series, showcasing the complex relationships between family members who often found themselves at odds due to differing views and professions. Selleck, as the Reagan patriarch, became a steady anchor, embodying the wisdom and gravitas that made Frank Reagan one of television's most beloved father figures. Off-screen, Selleck himself found these scenes particularly meaningful. He once remarked in an interview that portraying a flawed but principled father figure felt significant in a cultural moment when such portrayals were increasingly rare. It was a role that allowed him to bring nuance and depth to television, something he valued deeply after decades in the industry. Yet, playing Frank Reagan wasn't without its challenges. The role demanded emotional vulnerability and physical stamina, which became increasingly taxing as the years went on. Balancing the intense filming schedule of Blue Bloods with his personal life on his ranch required meticulous planning. By this time, Selleck had fully embraced his life away from Hollywood's bustling social scene. His Thousand Oaks ranch, with its sprawling avocado groves and peaceful surroundings, provided a much-needed refuge. He often spoke about how working on the ranch was therapeutic, a way to stay grounded and connected to nature. For Selleck, clearing brush or fixing fences wasn't just manual labor. It was a form of meditation that allowed him to recharge. However, the dual demands of maintaining a long-running television series and managing a working ranch took their toll. As Selleck approached his late 70s, the physical strain became harder to ignore. While he continued to approach his work with professionalism and dedication, there were moments when the signs of age began to show. Long days on set became more exhausting, and Selleck had to make adjustments to ensure he could keep up with the rigorous demands of playing a leading role. Despite these challenges, Selleck never wavered in his commitment to Blue Bloods. The series became a testament to his resilience and work ethic, qualities that had defined his career from the very beginning. Fans appreciated his authenticity and the layers he brought to Frank Reagan, making the character feel real and relatable. For Selleck, it was gratifying to know that his work was still resonating with audiences, even after decades in the industry. Beyond his on-screen presence, Selleck remained a man of principle and integrity. He was careful about the roles he chose and the public image he maintained. This was evident in his measured responses to the pressures of fame and his refusal to let Hollywood's fast-paced lifestyle dictate his values. Over the years, he became an advocate for ethical behavior and a supporter of various charitable causes, lending his voice to initiatives he believed in. Even as Blue Bloods continued to thrive, whispers of Selleck's eventual retirement began to circulate. Fans and industry insiders alike speculated about when he might step away from acting to fully embrace his life on the ranch. While Selleck himself remained tight-lipped about his plans, he occasionally hinted at the idea of slowing down. In interviews, he would talk about the joy he found in spending time with his wife, Jilly, and their daughter, Hannah, who had grown into a successful equestrian. Hannah's career in the equestrian world was a source of pride for Selleck. Watching his daughter pursue her passion reminded him of the importance of following one's dreams, a lesson he had learned firsthand during his own journey. He often shared stories about attending her competitions and supporting her endeavors, emphasizing the deep bond they shared as a family. It was clear that for Selleck, family always came first, a value that mirrored the themes of Blue Bloods. As the years went on, Selleck began to reflect more openly on his legacy. He spoke candidly about the highs and lows of his career, from the triumphs of Magnum P.I. to the missed opportunities that shaped his journey. While he expressed gratitude for the roles he had played, there was also a sense of wistfulness in his reflections. Selleck understood that time was finite, and that the chapter of his life as a leading man was slowly drawing to a close. Yet, there was no bitterness in his outlook, only a quiet acceptance of the natural progression of life. Selleck's ability to age gracefully, both on and off the screen, became an inspiration to fans and colleagues alike. He continued to find joy in the simple pleasures of ranch life, from tending to his avocado trees to enjoying quiet evenings with Jilly. These moments, he often said, were where he felt most at peace. Through it all, Selleck remained steadfast in his belief that true success wasn't measured by fame or fortune, but by the impact one had on the lives of others. Whether through his work in television and film or his personal relationships, Selleck had always strived to leave a positive mark. As he looked to the future, that legacy of kindness, integrity, and resilience was what he hoped to be remembered for. As Blue Bloods continued its successful run, Tom Selleck became an enduring symbol of consistency and dependability both on and off the screen. While his character Frank Reagan navigated the complex and often morally ambiguous world of law enforcement, Selleck himself was finding a similar balance in his own life. By his late 70s, he was fully aware of the passage of time and the increasing demands of sustaining a long-running television show. However, his approach to life and work remained as pragmatic and thoughtful as ever. Fans of Blue Bloods admired how the series depicted family values and the nuanced dynamics of the Reagan clan. Selleck often said that the weekly dinner scenes were not just a staple of the show, but also a reflection of what he believed mattered most in life: connection, conversation, and the strength of family bonds. These moments resonated deeply with viewers, many of whom saw their own family traditions mirrored in the Reagan's dinners. For Selleck, it was heartening to know that the show was more than just entertainment. It was a reminder of values that felt increasingly rare in modern society. Despite his love for the role and the series, Selleck couldn't ignore the growing physical and emotional toll of maintaining such a rigorous schedule. The long hours on set, combined with the natural effects of aging, made him think more deeply about how he wanted to spend his remaining years. Yet every time the idea of stepping away crossed his mind, he found himself drawn back by the love and respect he had for the cast, crew, and fans of Blue Bloods. It wasn't just a job for him, it was a family. Behind the scenes, Selleck's life on his Thousand Oaks ranch provided him with a necessary counterbalance to the demands of his career. The ranch, with its sprawling avocado groves and quiet beauty, was more than a retreat. It was a way of life. Selleck often spoke about the satisfaction he found in the simple physical work of maintaining the property. Whether it was pruning trees, clearing brush, or fixing fences, these tasks allowed him to stay active and grounded. It was a stark contrast to the glamorous image many associated with his Hollywood persona, but for Selleck it was the life he cherished most. His dedication to the ranch wasn't just about personal fulfillment, it was also a reflection of his deeply ingrained work ethic. Selleck approached every task, whether on the set of Blue Bloods or in his avocado groves, with the same sense of responsibility and care. It was this attitude that had earned him the respect of his peers and the admiration of his fans over the decades. He often joked that working on the ranch was better than going to the gym, but beneath the humor was a genuine appreciation for the physical and mental benefits of living close to nature. As much as Selleck valued his quiet life on the ranch, he remained deeply connected to his family. His wife, Jilly, was his rock, providing unwavering support throughout his career. Their marriage, which had lasted over 3 decades, was a testament to their mutual respect and understanding. Together, they had built a life centered on shared values and a commitment to their daughter, Hannah. Hannah, now an accomplished equestrian, was a source of immense pride for Selleck. Watching her grow into a confident and successful woman brought him a sense of fulfillment that no professional achievement could match. He often spoke about the joy he felt in attending her competitions and supporting her career, emphasizing that family would always be his top priority. For Selleck, these moments of connection and celebration were the true markers of success. As the years progressed, Selleck began to think more about his legacy. While he had achieved incredible success in television and film, he was less interested in accolades and more focused on the impact he had made on the lives of others. He often reflected on the roles that had defined his career, from the charming Thomas Magnum to the steadfast Frank Reagan, and the lessons he had learned along the way. These reflections became an integral part of his upcoming memoir, You Never Know, which promised to give fans a deeper insight into his life and career. The book was not just a recounting of his professional journey, but also a candid exploration of his personal challenges, triumphs, and values. In it, Selleck opened up about the moments of doubt, the sacrifices he had made, and the people who had shaped his path. He also addressed some of the misconceptions about his life, offering readers a chance to see the man behind the iconic roles. It was a deeply personal project, one that he hoped would resonate with fans and leave a lasting impression. Even as he worked on the memoir and continued to star in Blue Bloods, rumors of Selleck's retirement began to circulate. Industry insiders speculated that he might soon step away from acting to focus entirely on his ranch and family life. While Selleck himself remained coy about his future plans, he made it clear that he wasn't one to rush decisions. For him, every choice had to be thoughtful and deliberate, a reflection of the values he held dear. What was certain, however, was that Selleck's impact on Hollywood and his fans was undeniable. Whether through his performances or his personal philosophy, he had become a symbol of integrity and resilience. His ability to adapt, grow, and remain true to himself had allowed him to navigate the ups and downs of a challenging industry with grace and dignity. As he approached his 80s, Selleck's life was a testament to the power of perseverance, humility, and staying grounded. While the glitz and glamour of Hollywood may have defined the early part of his career, it was the quieter moments, on his ranch, with his family, or reflecting on his journey, that truly defined the man he had become. Fans around the world admired him not just for his roles, but for the authenticity and humanity he brought to everything he did. For Tom Selleck, it wasn't about chasing the next big thing. It was about appreciating the life he had built and the legacy he would leave behind. As Tom Selleck neared his 80th birthday, his life had taken on a quieter, more introspective rhythm. Yet it remained deeply fulfilling in its simplicity. While Hollywood was still a part of his story, it no longer defined him. His priorities had shifted over the years, and his focus was now on the people and passions that truly mattered. The man who had once commanded the small screen as Thomas Magnum and Frank Reagan now found joy in the slower pace of ranch life, surrounded by his family and the natural beauty of his Thousand Oaks property. Though Selleck's presence on television continued to captivate audiences, he had become increasingly selective about the projects he took on. Blue Bloods, now in its final season, marked the culmination of a 13-year run that had cemented his status as one of the most enduring actors in the industry. Reflecting on the show, Selleck often expressed gratitude for the opportunity to play Frank Reagan, a character who had challenged him as an actor and resonated deeply with viewers. But as the series drew to a close, It also symbolized the end of an era for Selleck, a bittersweet farewell to a role that had become as much a part of him as he was of it. Behind the scenes, the decision to wrap up Blue Bloods was not taken lightly. For Selleck, the show had been more than just a job. It was a platform to explore themes of family, morality, and duty in a way that felt meaningful and relevant. However, the physical demands of the role and the realities of aging were impossible to ignore. He knew that stepping away was the right choice, both for the integrity of the series and for his own well-being. With the show's conclusion, Selleck faced the prospect of retirement with a mix of emotions. On one hand, he looked forward to having more time to dedicate to his ranch, a place that had always been a sanctuary for him. On the other hand, he couldn't help but feel the weight of saying goodbye to an industry that had been a central part of his life for more than 5 decades. It was a delicate balance between letting go and holding on, and Selleck approached it with the same thoughtfulness that had defined his career. At the heart of Selleck's decision-making was his family. Jilly, his wife of over 35 years, had been his steadfast partner through every high and low. Their relationship, built on mutual respect and shared values, was a source of strength for Selleck as he navigated this new chapter. Together, they had weathered the challenges of fame and found solace in the simple joys of life on their ranch. Their daughter, Hannah, was another cornerstone of Selleck's life. As a professional equestrian, she had carved out her own path, one that was far removed from the spotlight of Hollywood. Watching her thrive in a field she was passionate about brought Selleck immense pride and reaffirmed the importance of following one's dreams. He often spoke about the joy of supporting her at competitions, emphasizing how these moments of connection were what truly mattered to him. Even as Selleck stepped back from the public eye, his influence remained undeniable. Fans continued to celebrate his body of work, from his breakout role in Magnum P.I. to his thoughtful portrayal of Frank Reagan. The release of his memoir, You Never Know, offered a rare glimpse into his life and career, shedding light on the man behind the characters. The book was a deeply personal project filled with anecdotes, reflections, and lessons learned over a lifetime. It was a chance for Selleck to share his story on his own terms, unfiltered and unapologetically honest. The memoir also addressed some of the more challenging aspects of Selleck's journey, from the sacrifices he had made for his career to the moments of doubt that had shaped his choices. Yet, it was not a tale of regret, but rather a celebration of resilience and the ability to adapt. For Selleck, life was not about avoiding challenges, but about facing them with integrity and purpose. This philosophy had guided him through every stage of his career and continued to inform the way he approached his personal life. As Selleck embraced his later years, he found peace in the knowledge that he had stayed true to himself. Whether it was through his work in Hollywood or his quiet life on the ranch, he had always prioritized what mattered most: family, honesty, and hard work. The legacy he had built was not just one of iconic roles and awards, but also one of authenticity and kindness. A reminder that success is measured not by the spotlight, but by the lives we touch along the way. While rumors of his full retirement swirled, Selleck himself remained characteristically understated about the future. He often remarked that he didn't see life as a series of endings, but as a continuous journey, one that required reflection, growth, and a willingness to embrace change. For him, stepping away from acting didn't mean stepping away from life. There were still fences to mend, trees to prune, and family dinners to enjoy, moments that, in their simplicity, held the most profound meaning. As fans bid farewell to Blue Bloods and looked ahead to Selleck's quieter days, there was a sense of gratitude for the stories he had shared and the moments he had created. From the Hawaiian shirts of Thomas Magnum to the stern yet compassionate gaze of Frank Reagan, Tom Selleck had left an indelible mark on television and in the hearts of his audience. And while his life had taken a different pace, it was far from sad. It was, in many ways, a life well lived, a testament to the enduring power of staying true to one's values and finding joy in the journey, wherever it may lead. With that, we have reached the end of today's video. If you have come this far with us, be sure to check out other videos on the channel.